Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the brand by Dany Vianna. So today I have their Aladdin collection as well as their black tie collection. Both collections are releasing on February 11th, so in the description box I'll link the by Dany Vianna site, I'll link their Instagram page, and then I'll link my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything from today's video. So with the two collections combined, we have 10 polishes to look at today, and let's go ahead and get started.
So first we have black sequins, and this is described as a black jelly base with a mix of black and silver reflective glitter. This one does cover really well here on this first coat. It's not obviously totally opaque, but it is going to build up very nicely to full coverage in 2 coats. The formula on this is great. I didn't have any kind of running, pooling, staining. It wasn't too thick or too thin. Sometimes these reflective glitter polishes can get on the very thick side, but I didn't have an issue with that whatsoever. This does have a beautiful amount of glitter in there as well, a nice sparkly manicure, something that screams like New Year's Eve to me. 2 coats for full coverage. This is a reflective glitter, so it is going to dry sandy textured. A couple coats of top coat will help smooth that out, and removal will be quite difficult, but there are 2 coats of black sequins. Next up we have black Tule, and this is described as a thermal that goes from a clear to a black. So it is going to be black when it's cold, and then when it's warm it'll be clear. This, I have seen things like this used a good amount in like nail art. I am not the most creative soul of the bunch, but I do think this has its place in the nail art community. And it's also very cool. Like, you can layer something like this over a red cream and get like a red to black thermal transition. But my only qualm with that is that you have to do like 3 coats of something like this to get that black to be full opacity. So you would have like 5 coats of just polish without base coat or top coat on your nails. So that can get a little bit heavy, but it does have its place in the nail polish world, and that was a lot of rambling. So I'm doing 3 coats on this to get full coverage for the black state. This is going to dry pretty glossy all on its own. A top coat will help protect your manicure. So there are 3 coats. Up next we have Black Veil, and this is described as a sheer black base with holographic flakes and black irregular glitters. This is very sheer. It can double as a topper. If you're gonna wear this one as a topper, I recommend it being over a darker color because this base is just ever so slightly tinted, and if you wear it over a lighter color, you're gonna see hints of blackish gray on your nails, but this would make a gorgeous topper. I really love the irregularity of the black glitter that's in here. It's not like a glitter that I've ever seen in this shape or color before. I've seen her use white like this in previous polishes, but I really love this black. So even though this is still sheer here on 3 coats, it is very even, and I do not mind a little bit of visible nail line. So if you do, you might need 4 or even more. This is going to dry with some texture, so I recommend top coat, and removal is relatively easy. So there are 3 coats. Next up we have Gold Lame, and this is described as a gold jelly base with a 5D silver magnetic pigment. This shocked the heck out of me. Look how opaque this is on the first coat. I mean, this is gorgeous, by the way, unmagnetized. I am going to show you in just a minute. I am going to magnetize after 2 coats, and it is absolutely stunning. But this looks like just absolute beauty. So 2 coats for full coverage, and even when I magnetized it, I could see a little bit of visible nail line after magnetizing it, but as the glitter or as the pigment settles itself back down, I didn't see any. This is going to dry dull, so a top coat will help, but removal will be easy. So there are 2 coats. Up next we have Hotter Than Hot, and this is described as a jelly blue base with orange reflective glitter and multi-chrome magnetic pigment. Again, this is very opaque here on this first coat. If you didn't want to magnetize it, you could definitely wear this in just 1 coat. I am going to show you what 2 coats looks like today before hitting it with that magnet, but very beautiful polish here on its own. But wait until you see it magnetized. It is incredible. Again, I got full coverage here in just 2 coats. Look at that starry night sky on your nail and an aurora borealis with no effort. This is going to dry with some pretty intense texture because of the reflective glitter, and this is also, in my opinion, the most difficult glitter to remove, so it is going to take some scrubbing. But there are 2 coats of Hotter Than Hot. Up next we have Itty Bitty Space, and this is described as a magenta jelly base with a gold to green aurora shimmer pigment and holographic flakes. This one is pretty sheer here on this first coat, a nice dainty pink polish. This is one that I would honestly just wear in one coat as like a light touch of color on the nail. Something like this says like spring and summer to me, so I don't mind that look at all. I am going to build it up to full coverage in 3 coats today just to show you what that looks like, but it is beautiful in all 3 states. The formula is excellent, and I don't know if I've mentioned her brush yet, but I'm pretty sure it's changed because I can get right up to my cuticle without flooding it, and I love that. This is going to dry on the dull side, so I do recommend using a top coat. It'll also help preserve the life of your manicure, but nothing will dry textured and removal's easy. So there are 3 coats of Itty Bitty Space. Up next we have Not a Prize to Be Won, and this is described as a vibrant jelly teal base with gold iridescent flakes and gold reflective glitter. This one is a little bit sheer here on this first coat, but once this is built up to full coverage, it really looks like a 3-dimensional masterpiece on the nail. This is such a pretty jelly base color, and then all of these little added elements really accentuate the manicure like so beautifully. The formula is again good. I didn't have running, pooling, or staining. I do know these kind of teal polishes can stain people pretty easily, so I would recommend just covering your bases and using a base coat before applying this polish. These gold flakes come out very easily and they do spread out easily across the nail, and it's not in abundance nor is it sparse, so I really love the amount of flakes that are in here. 3 coats gets me pretty much full coverage. You'll want top coat to finish this off, add some shine back and hide some of that texture. And this reflective glitter is present, so removal is difficult. So there are 3 coats. Up next we have Sparkling Mesh, and this is described as a purplish gray semi-sheer base with holographic microflakes. This is my kind of tea right here. This is such a pretty color. I really enjoy this at 1, 2, and 3 coats. It's pretty even. I do think if I wore a base coat underneath it, I would have no issues with patchiness because that's primarily just my ring finger. So I can usually tell if it's a polish that's patchy or if it's just the fact that I have pretty intense ridges on my nail. And I only had it on that one, so I do think this one is going to be absolutely beautiful as a sheer manicure as well. I feel like sheer polishes is something Dany Vianna does really, really well, and this one is no exception. I did do 3 coats to show you what full coverage looks like. And again, it is beautiful to no surprise. This one is going to dry pretty glossy all on its own. A top coat will again help extend the life of your manicure, but nothing will dry textured and nothing will be difficult to remove. So there are 3 coats of Sparkling Mesh. Next up we have You're Out of Time Princess, and this is described as a mix of gold reflective glitters with iridescent flakes, copper and metallic red shreds, and black to red micro flakes. I don't know why, but when I look at this polish, I think of Christmas. And I think it's because on my naked nail, these iridescent flakes look green, and so it looks like a red, green, and gold combination. But either way, this is wildly stunning. You could definitely use this one as a more opaque topper if you wanted to, but I do really like the look of it on its own, and I will probably get a good amount of use of this out of this during the holiday season. This is just absolutely gorgeous. I did do 3 coats to build this one up to full coverage. If you're not super picky, you might end up being okay with 2. It is that reflective glitter pigment, so you are going to want some top coat to smooth everything out. It does dry intensely textured, maybe 2 coats of top coat for that reason, and again, in my opinion, the most difficult glitter to remove, so there are 3 coats. And lastly for today, we have White Feather Boa, and this is described as a white sheer base with white irregular glitters and holographic flakes. We have these irregular glitters again. Now she has used these irregular white glitters in previous polishes, and I just think they are the most interesting glitter I have ever seen. Obviously, I didn't get a ton of them on this first coat, but as I applied, a couple more came out, and I think they're just so fun. Again, this is a sheer, so you're never going to cover your visible nail line completely, but that is kind of the beauty of these polishes. It's like a classic clean manicure with just a little bit extra special goodies from the glitter. So here's our third coat, a nice milky base. You are going to want top coat to finish this off. It does dry almost fully matte, so if you don't love that paired with the texture, you'll want that top coat, and removal is relatively easy. I say that for this one and the other one because it's not like a cream, but it doesn't require scrubbing.
And guys, that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.